move forward. But that person is going to overprocess and overthink as well. So there's procrastination. So it shows up in different forms of personalities. And anybody that's watching, you one of them 4 personality types.
Oh, for sure.
Procrastinating somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of people that's like that. I know for sure. I know I'm like a mixture of the analytical, for sure. Think too much sometimes. Overthinking to be like, you know what? Let me just wait till I get some more info.
Yeah.
You know, I need some more. I need some more.
More, then you need some more.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're gonna always need more, and then by the time you always need more, it's like your opportunity to do it was probably gone.
Yep.
And just go ahead and just execute. Let's go, coffee beans. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. I am your host, Tay Biz, here on the Mailroom Network. We are here about to deep dive into a few things today. And so I want to say what's up to everybody. Let me see what's up in the chat real quick. Moderate Lena, she said, good morning. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. And Sabrina saying, good morning. Don't forget to live. Don't forget to live. Don't forget to share the live. Oh, okay. I thought you said don't forget to live. Hit the like button. My bad. I read that wrong. My bad. Don't forget to share the live. Hit the like button and subscribe to the Mailroom Network. Oh, you like that song in the beginning, huh? That song is fire. That song is fire. That artist got some fire music for real. But yeah, welcome to Coffee Conversation, man. Some of the greatest conversations in the world has happened over a nice cup of coffee. So it's time to brew. All right. Today I have my hazelnut coffee, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my Thanos mug today. We might deep dive a little bit into Thanos mug, you know what I'm saying? With the jewels on there. You know what I'm saying? If you got your coffee, come on and sit with your boy real quick. All right, it's time to get it on. How's everybody feeling today, man? How's everybody feeling today? Let me know how you feeling in the chat. Let me know how you feeling in the chat, man. It's good to be here on a Saturday. It's been a long week. It's been a long work week, a long mental week, a long emotional week. Just a long week in general, you know what I'm saying? But it's always good to know that you got another day ahead, you know what I'm saying? Lena said, tired. I'm tired, boss. She said, I'm tired. Hey, I feel you. I definitely feel you. But yeah, man, again, welcome to Coffee and Conversation. We're going to go ahead and deep dive into the show. Sometimes when you have weeks like this, where you've been working all week or up early and you got many things you have to do. It's not just one thing, you have family stuff you got to take care of. You got job stuff, career stuff. Some people who go to church and donate, you got church stuff. Some people got that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got a whole bunch of stuff, so sometimes it feels good to just chill and relax, man. You know what I'm saying? And just enjoy yourself a little bit and chill. And that's my hope and dream and prayer that you all do today on Saturday, because I'm telling you, after I'm done with this show, I'm going to maximize my chilling is what I'm about to do. All right. But definitely want to get into this topic, man. You saw the thumbnail. We're going to talk about the 4 seasons of dating. And here I go again with some stuff, right? Like, what is that? What is the 4 seasons of dating? You know what I'm saying? I talked about the 4 types of daters, and I talked about the dating culture and all that kind of stuff. And it got people's bloods going, you know what I'm saying? Got people minds stirring up, you know what I'm saying? So here I come again with something to just get us to think about it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I went on IG Live before I came here, and I was talking about the fact that we're also going to talk about we believe anything. And what did I mean by that? I made a statement in the title of this show to talk about we believe everything. We believe everything at face value. We don't try to investigate, like we should. We don't use context clues anymore. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the things is that I'm noticing in our society is that there are and this goes back to when I talked about the gentleman with the technology to just do artificial intelligence in your phone. It's just to dumb down everything. Make everything as stupid and dumb as possible. So that way you don't even have to think anymore. You don't have to think anymore. All you got to do is just hit a button or say something, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to actually engage anymore. And so that's kind of like what they're leaning into. And so this is kind of like what we're doing with each other. We don't try to get to know each other anymore. It's all face value, believe in people at face value. And it's like, okay, you can do that, but it's not going to work out for you. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that we cannot do in today's society is we cannot have this thing of empty-headedness, this face value stuff, this I don't want to think about it, or that's too much to think about, or whatever the case may be. A lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to go into a space where they have to actually utilize their comprehension. Okay. I remember when I was a kid, right? Man. And me and my boy JB, shout out to JB the Gent. I don't know if he's watching or not. Probably not. He probably sleep too. I don't know, but back in elementary school, we had something called reading comprehension, right? That was an actual subject. It was reading and then reading comprehension. Those were two different subjects, right? And so the comprehensive part is where the teacher knew whether or not you understood the context of something. And so one of the things that I'm noticing is that we don't care about the context of anything. All we care about is how it made us feel, and if it made us feel that way, then it's facts. Well, feelings, unfortunately, and fortunately, feelings are not facts. All right. Feelings are very fleeting, very fluid. They're very fluctuating. They're up and down. They're by mood. They're not by actual evidence. Everything is just based on that fleeting concept. And so if you are the type of person who is emotionally driven all the time and things of that nature without having any type of comprehension or bringing any context to your feelings, then your feelings will do what? Take over you, right? They will take over you. And so this is something that I noticed in a particular story that happened recently. And I'm pretty sure we all know this story. As soon as I say the name of the person, you're going to know the story. And listen, after I say this name of this person, put a 1 in the chat if you know about the story. Carly Russell. Carly Russell. If you know about this story, put a 1 in the chat. And if you don't know about the story, put a fire in the chat. Put a fire in the chat if you don't know about the story so we can cook it. And put a 1 in the chat if you already know about the story. Let me know. Let me know what's up. Let me know. Because, okay, good. I got some 1s in the chat. Okay, cool. So basically we know about the story. So, all right, I don't necessarily want to unpack the story so much because we all know what the story is about Carly Russell. We don't necessarily have to go deep into it. But one of the things I want to go deep into is the impact of it and how people was believing her story for just face value without even thinking about this story. All right. So I do have to review the story a little bit so we can deep dive a little bit. Now, NPR.org had an article about this, right? And here go the queen herself. This is y'all queen right here. This is your queen, Carly B. I call her Carly B. You know what I'm saying? Carly B from Bama. You feel me? Is this your queen? Is this your queen? You know what I'm saying? Carly B. She said, "Hey, I'm black and cute, so I can do what I want to do." You know what I'm saying? So she did get charged for she did get charged for actually misleading a law enforcement about this toddler that she saw stranded on the side of the road. So it says here, I'm just going to skim through this a little bit. It says the 25-year-old is I'm right here in this area. The 25-year-old is being charged with falsely reporting to law enforcement officers and falsely reporting an incident, according to the chief of police in Hoover, Alabama. I know many are shocked and appalled that Miss Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused. This is what the police chief said. Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration. He said the existing laws allow only those charges to be filed. She did get out. She did get out on a bond of $1,000. No, she did get out on her $1,000 bond, but this misdemeanor, these 2 misdemeanors, each charge carries a bond of $1,000 and is punishable up to a year in jail and up to $6,000 in fines, according to the chief of police, Mr. Dersies. Russell was later released from jail after posting bond, so she is out of jail. She is not in jail. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation as concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. The story opened wounds for families whose loved ones really were victims of kidnappings, some of which even helped organize searches. All right. Now, I want to stop right there for 1 second. So, when you get a 911 call like this, right, and you say you saw a toddler stranded, right, is the police really going for the person who's been kidnapped or that toddler, right? It's one of those things. The toddler's used as bait. The toddler is innocent. So obviously we're going to look for the toddler and also the person who did this and also the person who's a victim of being kidnapped because of the fact that they're using a toddler to kidnap someone. The thing is this, is the story that she told when she got home. See, all of this is the story that she told after she came home in 2 days, right? So let me go ahead and actually also play. I'm going to play a portion of the press conference, just a little bit, so that way we can go ahead and bring a little bit more context to what we're going to talk about today. All right. Let me know if y'all can hear this real quick.
Burgess will make a prepared statement. Here. After Chief Burgess' statement is over with, Attorney General Marshall will also offer a few comments. Once that is completed, both gentlemen will return to the podium and you guys will have an opportunity to ask questions. With that, I will turn it over to Chief Burgess.
Thank you, Captain. Good afternoon.
Oh, he should. Hold on.
Police detective.
Hold on. First of all, this is my friend. Hold on. First of all, he looked totally different. Like the first press conference, he had the purple jacket. He's sugar. The man said, "This is national news. I'm about to put on some sugar." The boy got the look at him with the tie is setting off the inseam of the jacket. Boy, you chief. He said, "I'm about to get my 9 minutes and 50 seconds right here. I'm about to get my 15 minutes of fame right now. You're gonna do all this to me." Carly B gonna do all this to me. I'm gonna make sure I shine. Let his hair done, slide, slick to the side, boy. You better go ahead, sir. Look at him. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. My bad. He stepped his game up from the last press conference. He was like, "Okay, here we go again. Some chick got kidnapped." Now he like, "Oh, she lied? Ooh, I really want to set it off now." I'm sorry. Okay, let's go.
Detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of Carly Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation, as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. Numerous law enforcement agencies, both local and federal, began working tirelessly not only to bring Carly home to her family, but locate a kidnapper that we know now never existed. Many private citizens volunteered their time and energy into looking for a potential kidnapping victim that we know now was never in any danger. This story opened wounds for families whose loved ones really were victims of kidnappings, some of which even helped organize searches in hopes they could find Carly's alive.
They even helped
so
her.
her family would not experience the pain and suffering that they felt when their loved ones never returned home. As we know, actions can have consequences, and that's why we're here today. This afternoon, Carly Russell, with the assistance of her attorney, turned herself into the Hoover City Jail, where she was arrested for the following charges: false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor, $1,000 bond; falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond. Each of these charges carry up to a year in jail and potential fine of $6,000 upon conviction. Ms. Russell was released from jail after posting bond. We initially presented this case to District Attorney Lanice Washington, who agreed to handle prosecution through district court. After consulting with the Circuit Court of Jefferson County Bessemer Division, the case was referred back to municipal court for charging because the only applicable charges were misdemeanors. Judging from the amount of phone calls and emails that we've received from people all over the country, I know many are shocked and appalled that Ms. Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused. Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration, but existing laws only allow the charges that were filed to be filed. I can tell you that I will be contacting our state legislatures on behalf of law enforcement in Montgomery and asking them to look at this law applied to these facts and urge them to add an enhancement to current legislation when somebody falsely reports kidnapping or another violent crime. Because of the attention this case has garnered, we've requested Attorney General Steve Marshall's office adopt this case, and they've agreed to do so. The Hoover Police Department wants to thank everyone that assisted us from the beginning and continues to assist us in this case as we work its way through the criminal justice system. Joining me at the podium today is State of Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall.
All right. So that's the chief, man. All right. So basically, I wanted to bring this up because what I saw from this story, and y'all let me know if y'all saw the same thing on your social media and everything. I saw a lot of women, especially black women, just gonna be real. It's coffee conversation. Just gonna be real. You know how y'all know me. They ate this story up for breakfast. As soon as the story came out, they ate it up for breakfast. She got kidnapped. They better look for her like they'll look for a Becky and blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, this was all over. This was plastered everywhere. People were making TikToks about it. People were talking about all this stuff and all these pieces of evidence. Her texting her boy. Everybody thought her boyfriend did it and all this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, it went crazy. Her boyfriend and all that kind of stuff. They talked about him. And I started thinking to myself, like, this particular story lets me know that there is an agenda to create a narrative on men that is so egregious to prove victimhood of something, to escape the things that you actually do that you don't want to get punished for or that you don't want to be accountable for. You'd rather do all of this. This is who you think they were looking for. Who you think the kidnapper was they were looking for? Another woman? No. They were looking for another man, another black man to be exact. And come to find out that black man is Carly B. She kidnapped her own self, took herself to the Red Roof Inn for 2 days, was chilling with whoever she was chilling with, or by herself. Who knows? This is a 25-year-old woman, people. This ain't no little girl. This is a 25-year-old woman. And the outrage from women about this story was dead on. They ate it up for breakfast. They believed this story. They believed that she was actually on. They believed that she saw us toddler stranded on the side of the road, and she got kidnapped. And the kidnapper gave her Cheez-Its. And they believed the story for face value. See, I'm going somewhere with this. They believed the story for face value, without any evidence, without hearing the whole story. I didn't talk about this story at all. I talked about it one time on IG when the police reported that they could not find any evidence of what she was saying to be true. I'm like, why did this story is not true in the first place? All right. So then it started going from, instead of her being accountable, it started going to, well, maybe she have a mental issue. Maybe she is a 25-year-old nursing student from Alabama who had a boyfriend who broke up. He done moved on with another chick. She done texted chick through IG. There's evidence about that out there. You know what I'm saying? This is not no mentally ill person. And see this, and one of the things that we do in society is now we pushing this mental health agenda. And the mental health agenda, this is what we do all the time. Something that starts off good, it always turns out to be something else. It ends up being something else. Even with the Me Too movement, it went from Me Too with people who were really victims of harassment to now, if you give a woman a compliment on the job, she can say that you sexually harassing her and you could get fired. You see how extreme we get? Because we believe anything, not everything, just anything. Anything. We believe anything? You think this young lady saw us toddler stranded on the side of the road at 9:30 on a highway with other cars driving by and nobody else said anything? And on top of that, there were no records to show that there was any type of Amber Alert or any type of issue with a kidnapper, period, or any type of child missing report. None of that even existed at that time, days before or days after. But as soon as they said black woman kidnapped, oh my God. And then she come back home 48 hours later with a box of Cheez-Its, acting like she's hysterical, acting like she got kidnapped. Then when she tell the story, everybody like, what? Because people would rather be victims than victorious. They'd rather be victims than to actually say, you know what? I'm pissed off that my boyfriend it broke up with me. And on top of that, I was stealing money from my school and I didn't want to get caught. And my parents paid for me to go to school so I could get my education in nursing. I ain't want them to know that either, and all that kind of stuff. So how can I do this in one swoop? How can I make sure that I get all the attention off of the stuff I'm doing to become a victim? I know what I'll do. I will go on the side of the road, leave some belongings in the car, walk up the road by myself to a Target or whatever she went to, say I got kidnapped, but check myself into a Red Roof Inn, create this whole story. And then when you see the story getting out of hand, you want to come back to the crib. The problem is everybody believed this story. No one gave the benefit. There was no benefit of the doubt at all. It was just all benefit. Yes, this story makes sense. Yes. She was on the side of the road. I'm telling you, I know y'all seen this. I know y'all seen these TikTokers and these other short clip people create a story about this too. If you have, put a one in the chat. If you put a one in the chat, if you saw something about this story where people like they believe her. The crew with the bonnet crew, the women at home in the bonnet's like, oh my God, Carly just got kidnapped, and they better be looking for her because if she was a white girl, they'll look for her. All y'all was saying this. Even some people that were professionals who have professional degrees, who are experts in kidnapping cases and things like that, believe this story. They believe this story. So it made me think, like, how come we just believe anything? We do not want to think for nothing. We would rather, instead of thinking, we would rather just believe anything and let that be gospel instead of searching it out. Then when Carly B got you looking, now that Carly B got everybody looking stupid, you ain't heard nothing from the bonnet crew community, the TikTok community. Oh, no, you ain't heard nothing. Nothing. They said, oh, girl, Carly done set us back. Carly done did this to us. Now, I didn't hear, now, I'm on a serious note. Shanquilla Robinson went on a trip, a girl's trip, and got murdered. And you didn't hear uproar at all. Not in this way. Not even close. Yes, it was news, it was all of that, but we talking about social media impact from people. Why? Oh, is it because it was a girl trip and you really couldn't blame a guy? Or is it because you really don't care like that? There's a reason why I have my Thanos mug today. It done cooled down. It done cooled down now. Huh? Somebody talk to me, man. Somebody holler at me. Holler at your boy. Oh, since we can't blame, because see, in this case, in this fake kidnapping case, you could blame a man for this. Because after all, men kidnap women and men kidnap babies. That's a man thing, right? Oh, but when Shanquilla go on a girl's trip and get deleted by some of her peers, since we can't blame a guy for this, we just gonna let the law handle that. You only saw a small group of people actually talk about this that particular case. A small group of people. Almost everybody in America was tripping about this Carly Russell story. Carly B. Where is the uproar now? They're like, oh, she messed up. All right, well, forget it, man. Skip her. I haven't heard anything at all to say, man, this is the reason why this, that, and the other. Nothing. I haven't heard anything. It's all been cricket quiet because a man can't get blamed now. So since he can't get blamed, we don't have no leverage. Victim, watch out for people. This is the reason I'm using this example to talk about this point of we believe anything. Victims carry entitlement. They carry self-centeredness. People who really play victim. They will allow things to happen to them knowing that it should not happen to them. They let it go on for so long, and then they will cry victim about it. But you stayed attached to it all this time. Why? Why? That's the reason why the society can't move forward. We are all caught up in the most empty, it's emptiness. Anything that is related to being victimized, anything related to that, we eat it for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. We kill it. We love it. All my sisters, hey, they better look for her. They better do this. They better do that. Didn't nobody say nothing about Shanquilla. They better find her. Who got arrested for it? For her deletion? Who? The uproar. Where is it? Now it's like we disappointed in Carly. She was the last black hope until until she lied. Oh, since Carly B lied, nah, y'all don't want nothing to do with her? Is that what it is? The chat quiet. Hey, chat, holla at your boy, man. Is that what it is? Because she lied now, y'all want to do with her? she didn't give y'all what she wasn't giving what she supposed to have gave. Is that what it was? Is that what it is? I don't hear nothing from the ladies now. The ladies ain't said nothing about Carly Russell. Nothing. Not a thing. All they said one thing. She done set us back. Back from what? Back from what exactly? Oh, you can't blame a dude. Oh, so you can't blame a guy for this because it's a hoax. Now you don't have any reason to support her. What about the mental health? Y'all said that she might have a mental issue. It might be something wrong with her mentally. That's what y'all said at first. Now that you know she was just flat out lying, you can't even use that. Because we believe anything. We are a glutton for punishment sometimes. I talk about myself. I have done some things in my life that it was just flat out stupid. It was just stupid. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't using my prefrontal cortex at all. Nope. It was all damaged and stupid and dumb. It just was. Then what happens is you have an epiphany. You start realizing like, oh, I need to get this together ASAP. I don't need to get into a relationship quick. I need to get myself together quicker. Skip a relationship. You're all damaged and messed up. You don't need no relationship to help you. No. You got to get you together, yo. The first thing we got to do is stop walking in this naivety. This superficial, superfluous naivety that as long as I'm hurt, I can get what I want because I'm entitled to it because I have pain in my life and I'm entitled to some stuff. No, the world does not work that way. It doesn't. I wish it did. Oh, I wish it did. I would claim hurt all the time. I would claim pain all the time. But you can't. You remember back in the day, they told you, you got to suck it up and deal with it. Now you don't have to do that anymore. You can just play victim. You can just pretend to be a victim and get all the attention. She got national media coverage looking for her. Organizations looking for her. She had a whole crew of people supporting her to look for her. And when she saw, man, this lie is getting way out of hand. It's so out of bounds right now. I can't even control the narrative. I can't even do damage control. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back home, okay? Because where else can I go? I can't stay in the Red Roof Inn all day. So I gotta go back home and then have to make it seem like I was kidnapped. And then see, this is This is the one thing that was smart about Carly B. She never went on the news about nothing. She never talked about how she was hurt, pain, the kidnapper. She ain't talking about nothing. She let her mom and them do it. Dad and mom did it. Her mother like, oh, yeah. Oh, she was so distraught. Yeah. I couldn't even get close to her. I wanted to hug her, but I couldn't hug her because she was just so mentally fighting for her life. That did not age well. Mentally fighting for your life. Jeez, man. You know what? I know some people that really have mentally fought for their life. Like, seriously. And this to me is another example of believe everything that anybody says, believe anything that a woman says, believe anything that a man says, just believe anything. Everybody just believe anything and walk this earth with this empty-headed level of intelligence so that way you don't have to be responsible and accountable for anything. It's like now we have to go through that thing. This is society I'm talking about. We all make mistakes. We all have our own thing we're dealing with and going through. I have my own thing I'm dealing with and going through on a personal level. I got my own thing that I'm dealing with on a personal level that other people don't know about. Some people do. Some people in my circle know about it, but I don't broadcast it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their personal thing, but when you involve a society, a whole nation in it, all for the sake of what? The school found out that you were stealing money from the register, man, at the school, girl. And again, we're not talking about some little teenage girl, 16, 17 years old or 15 years old. We're talking about a 25-year-old woman. At what point are we going to wake up, snap out of it and say, you know what? I need to be a little bit more informative and be a little bit more intentional with my thinking. I need to be a little bit more responsible with my intelligence because ain't nowhere in the world this makes sense to me. I'm a black man. All right? I ain't never seen a black woman or any woman go on the side of the road to help a stranger to do anything. A toddler at that? Do you know that toddler would have been swooped up before you got there, girl? This toddler that was stranded would have been noticed. All this time at 9:30 at night, this toddler is stranded. You the first person to notice this. Highly doubtful. And they ate it up. Carly is a victim. And that's what I'm talking about. Y'all, all y'all people who saying she lying, if it was your daughter, if it was your sister, if it was your cousin, the story don't make sense, man. There was even a guy on TikTok who insinuated, oh, the views that went down. It was even a guy on TikTok who insinuated that was his sister. And everybody was like, oh, she got a brother. And her brother's on TikTok looking for her. Da, da, da. And he came back and said, no, he dropped that video. Then he came back and said, no, I was referring to her as my sister in Christ. Yo, man, you can't believe anything. Views done went way down. You can't believe anything. This is what we're talking about today, though. You can't believe anything. So I wanted to bring that point out because I found it interesting, the impact that people had and now have. It's two different extremes. One extreme was she's telling the truth, go get her, blah, 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 whatever. Which if it was initiated that way, yes, go get her. But then when she tells the story, it's like, oh, we still believe it until the truth comes out. See, some of us have a proclivity to need to get extremely hurt before we start realizing what's going on. We gotta get kicked in the face, slapped in the head, do all this kind of stuff before we realize what's really going on. And what's really going on is you're getting abused, you're getting hurt, and you're hurting yourself, and you stand there and you stand there and you stand there. And it's like you just letting this happen to you. Well, I'm gonna give it more time. And then what? You got to bleed to death before you realize that you're getting stabbed. You got to have your face got to get like this before you realize you're getting punched. Why let it go to an extreme? And that's what happens. We think in extremes. We don't want to think in rationale or practicality. We rather think in extremes. All these extreme things, these extreme thoughts, we'd rather have that. Instead of being steadfast in what it is that God gave us, which is common sense. This story was a lie from the beginning. As soon as they said that this young lady saw a collar stranded on the side of the road, I was like, she's lying, man. I knew it right then. I was like, that don't make sense to me. That does not make sense to me. And then come to find out, and I went on my IG and I talked about it a little bit. I said, this don't mean, I said, now they found her in the Red Roof Inn. They got receipts of her being at the Red Roof Inn. People was like, nah, I tell you that. Okay, I left it alone. I didn't say nothing else. But that's the impact. People will just believe whatever, and they'll just go with it. Thank you. Not at all. There's no way she was that. It doesn't make no sense. None. So that impact, that's what I mean by we believe anything. We just get so impacted by every single thing that they spew at us over the news or that people say, and we just eat it for lunch, man. It's like, no. It's deeper than that. Way, way deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect to get a bunch of likes on this. But if you can, those of you that are still here, hope you like, share, and subscribe this. Because this is just the beginning of what we talked about. This is just one thing I wanted to talk about, the impact of believing anything. It's very bad. It's not good. And we need to be a little bit more, use our frontal. We need to use our frontal more. Because at this point, they want to dumb us down so bad. Society wants to dumb us down so bad, it's ridiculous. And so we as the people, we have to stick together and say, you know what, we're not gonna let that happen. We're still gonna write, we're still gonna read books, we're still gonna do what we know, we're still gonna research, we're still gonna go to the library. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need these things. Because if you notice the movie, and then we're gonna go to commercial, but the movie, The Book of Eli, even though it was in an apocalyptic age and time, what were they trying to find? Books. What was they trying to find, man? If they found a book, they sent it back to the main person, whoever was running the town that they was in. But there was only one book that meant everything to everybody. And why was they grabbing books? Because they was looking for that one book. And that one book at the end, we found out was the Bible. There was only one book that they were looking for. Yeah, they had all these other books that they found in these cars and in these crazy abandoned houses or whatever the case may be. Like I said, apocalyptic times, all that. But one book. And Gary Oldman's character got upset in the movie because one of his goons, because he was so frustrated that they never could find the Bible. And my man was like, why do you want this book so bad? He said, it's not just a book. It's a weapon. Hey, man, y'all need to rewatch the Book of Eli, man. But I'm going to leave it right there. We're going to go to commercial real quick, man. Hey, this is your boy, Tay Biz. This is Coffee Conversation. I'll be back in a second.
today. But you know how it is. You know, we gonna talk from our perspective, and our lovely mail carriers. We know y'all gonna be tapping in. So I think we're gonna have a good show today, man. What y'all think?
Sure, absolutely.
Hey, I got scuba gear.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
All right, man. First topic of the day, fellas. Does a man's weakness in women cause him to be double-minded?
In relationship to move forward, that person is going to overprocess and overthink as well. So there's procrastination. So it shows up in different forms of personalities. And anybody that's watching, you one of them four personality
Yeah.
types?
Oh,
You
for sure.
procrastinating somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of people that's like that. I know for sure. I know I'm like a mixture of the analytical, for sure. Think too much sometimes. Overthinking to be like, you know what? Let me just wait till I get some more info.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I need some more. I need some more
If you need some
confirmation.
more, then you need some more.
Are people asking you, are you strong and independent? Like I can see it from that nature, but in a normal dating atmosphere, if I recall, I don't be asking those type of questions. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why we're trying to relate the fact that this doesn't have to be said.
Yeah. Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation. This again, your boy Tay Biz. Yo, thank you so much for the mail carriers that carried us through season 2 of the Mailroom Show, the mail carriers that carry us through Coffee and Conversation, the mail carriers that carry us through Mailroom After Dark, and videos and clips and shorts and all that kind of good stuff. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, please join us. Welcome to the Mailroom family. I'm going to say it one more time. Come on and join us. Come on to the family. It's all love. It's all good. We are here every Saturday at this point on Coffee and Conversation at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, the Mailroom Show, our title show, which is our baby, our main show. We just ended season 2 last Sunday. And so if you want to watch that show, it's about the Keke Palmer and her baby daddy situation when she was dressing up with Usher and all that kind of good stuff. We unpacked the whole insecurity part of checking your woman and stuff like that. So we did all right. We did all right. You know what I'm saying? Already got over 100 views. So we're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? We're doing something right. So again, we thank you so much for being a part of the Mailroom Network. If you can, please like, share, and subscribe to this show. And we're going to go ahead and get into our main topic, which is the 4 seasons of dating. All right. So if you're still you still with your boy, put a 1 in the chat. If you're still with your boy, put a coffee mug or a 1. If you're still with your boy, put a coffee mug or a 1 in the chat. Let me close this out. All right. So the 4 seasons of dating, right? We're talking about appreciate you. We're talking about the 4 seasons of dating, right? And so what is the 4 seasons of dating? What are the 4 seasons of dating, right? And so this came from, I was watching a show and I was watching some young ladies. They were talking about, trying to date while you still kind of like getting over a breakup or hurt or whatever the case may be. And how the hurt or pain, seemed like it's going to last forever, but it really only lasts for a season. So I'm like, man. And so that kind of stuck out to me. That portion, I extracted that because it stuck out to me like for a season. Like, what you mean? And it made me think of being from Detroit, Michigan, where I was born and raised and grew up until I moved in my older years. But we have 4 seasons. We have summer, spring, winter, fall. We have all 4 of the seasons. There are some places here in America that don't experience all 4 seasons. And so we have that privilege to experience that. Now, one of the things about the 4 seasons is that it requires a level of adaptation because you can't do the things you did in the summer in the winter, right? You can't dress the way you do in the summer in the winter, right? And so consequently, what you have to do is adapt to that particular weather. Just like the fall, you know, once you come out the summer, you're going into the fall, the temperature start dropping a little bit, start getting a little bit colder. You still have to dress differently. You got to start wearing pants now. You can't wear shorts. You got to start wearing pants. You got to put on full shoes. You can't wear open-toe shoes, open-toe sandals. You can't go to the beach. You know, you get in that water, then the temperature drop, you're going to get sick. You know what I'm saying? So you got to adapt. Springtime after the winter, you got to adapt. You know, you got to still wear a jacket. I know it's warm. I know it's warm that day, but that morning be cold in the mud, right? You know, March, April, and all that kind of stuff. Around that time, it'd be cold in the morning, but it'd be warm later on, and then the temperature drop, and it get cold in the morning, warm later on, and it kind of tricks you a little bit. Makes you think like it's about to break, like the weather breaking, and it ain't. It's trying to figure it out. You know, it's trying to do its thing, right? So that concept of the 4 seasons, having that in the dating culture, how do we navigate in the dating culture when we're in different seasons of our lives, right? So these are a list that I've made here of my my own intellectual proclivity or theory or philosophy, whatever you want to call it. As my big bro would say, AJ, he would say intellectual property. My IP is what he would say. But this is something that I'm thinking about here. So one of the seasons I want to talk about is the season of heartbreak. There's a season of heartbreak that takes place. When you're hurt, when you're overwhelmed with distress, maybe some anger in there a little bit, fluctuating in there because of the disappointment of a previous relationship or even just a previous way of being treated. There's a season of heartbreak. And in that season, there is always somebody trying to tell you, man, go on, get on out there, dog. Go on out there, boy. Go ahead, date some more. Get on out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man, don't worry about her, man. Go ahead. But your heart is broken, man. Your heart is broken. So it's going to be difficult for you to navigate in that space because your heart is still broken, man. You're still overwhelmed, right? You might not be a good date at that time. You feel me? So navigating in that space is going to be difficult. That's the season of heartbreak. When your heart is broken, rushing to get out of it will not help heal whatever wound that's there. Whatever wound that's there, rushing to replace it with someone is not going to satisfy that particular pain or heartbreak. What it will do is perpetuate it or project it onto someone else, and they will get overwhelmed with you. So you're overwhelmed. Now they're overwhelmed with you. In that season of heartbreak in the dating culture, you can find it in people because, and I'm just going to throw this out here. Have you ever been on a date with someone and all they do is talk about their ex? You know, not in reference to something in particular, but they just constantly talk about it. Even if you're talking about movies, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be real with you, man. There was a young lady I had dated, right? I gotta sip some coffee for this. There was a young lady I had dated, and I was telling her, I was like, yeah, I was like, let's go to the movies. You know what I'm saying? We had been talking for a little bit. I was like, let's go to the movies. She was like, what movie you want to see? And I told her what movie I wanted to see. I was like, let's go see that. And she was like, okay. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow, what? Like, you picked the movie? I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. I want you to see it with me, you know? Oh my God, my last boyfriend would never pick the movie. He would just always let me do everything. He would never pick the movie. I'm like, what? Hey, man. I'm like, okay, that's not even a big deal. There is a such thing as called insignificant data. That's actually a thing. Insignificant data is a thing where there are certain things that are insignificant than others. There's levels to this. And even that level of simplicity made her think about the heartbreak she experienced from her man or ex-man or whatever. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, And so it's a combination of things. It's like, I'm heartbroken, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm trying to replace it. And I like what I see and I like what I'm experiencing. So I think it's good for me. But so what's really good for you is taking the time to heal and to try to mend that brokenness. But instead of that, in the dating culture, a lot of times what we tend to do is exchange brokenness through trying to fulfill each other's, which is the next season, void. That's season number 2, season of void. The season of void has there's an emptiness. There's an empty space. A synonym for void is vacancy. There's nothing in this space. Okay. And so in the season of void, you want someone to fill that void, fill it with their time, with their anything. And there is a proclivity to press that person to fill that void. Okay. So this is what happens in the season of void. You constantly call that person all day, every day. You don't give them no space. And this is just dating I'm talking about. Some of us, or maybe all of us, at some point have experienced this, where you have a person that you meet, that you like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? 2-3 weeks into the conversation, a month in, everything is cool. Then you just like call them all day, every day. Like all day, every day. And you're just coming out the heartbreak season. So you finally got yourself together a little bit. Now you're like, okay, now that I'm okay, I feel okay. Now I wish I had someone now. So this one person that I like, I will call them all the time. Guys do this too. Helena said obsession. Exactly. It's like all day, every day. It's amazing now that I'm talking about dating and my numbers went up. It's crazy. I see what you're doing, YouTube. I got you. So yeah, that is a season of a void. It's like there's emptiness, and it's constant feeling of emptiness, right? And the constant feeling of emptiness is there because the reality is that you miss that person. You miss that person, and you're trying to get through it. You're trying not to go back to where you came from with the heartbreak. You're trying not to go back to the same person that you left for good reasons. You're just trying to move forward, but you can't because you miss them or her, and you're feeling empty and you can't move on. Every time you try to date a woman, she reminds you of Talisha, and Talisha was just that one for you, and you thought you and Talisha was going to be all that. You was thinking about building a crib with her, and y'all was living together, whatever the case may be. It's void, bro. It's void, dog. You're empty. And now you're just dating anybody. You're just out there now. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to fulfill that void. That's a part of the season of void, right? And then there comes another season in the dating culture of trying to figure it out. All right. This is where you start. This is how you know you're getting better. In the season of trying to figure it out, you're beginning to investigate more. You're starting to ask more questions. All right. Now I wrote this down. This is when you are starting to find out about yourself in stages or phases. In this season, you ask more questions, not only about whoever you're dating, but also about yourself. You start to do some self-discovery here. So, and even if you're dating, and we talked about the 4 types of dater, the serial, the casual, the intentional, and the purposeless dater. We talked about them before, but even when you're dating, you start like your appetite may change. In this season of trying to figure it out, your appetite might change. It's like what used to be cute to you, what used to be like, oh, that's cute. You be like, nah, that don't look right. Put a one in the chat if I'm saying something good to you, man. If I'm saying something, if I'm telling you something good, put a one in the chat. Your boy trying to work, man. Y'all ain't interacting with your boy. Dang. What I do to you? I should have never talked about Carly B, huh? I understand. It's all good. It's all good. So appreciate the ones that I'm getting. Appreciate it. So yeah, the season of trying to figure out is to be honest, that is a good spot to be in, because you're not so gullible about everything, which is the reason I talked about we believe anything in the beginning. The season of trying to figure it out means that you're going to ask more questions. Anything that doesn't make sense to you, you're going to ask questions about it. Period. You're going to ask questions about it, even if it makes sense to everybody else. But if it don't make sense to you, you're going to ask questions about it. Yeah, but I'm not comfortable with what I'm getting here. And you're self-aware. You start becoming self-aware. You start practicing more self-awareness in that space. You become a little bit more fluid with your questions. Your questions are different now. They're not so rhetorical. They're not so hypothetical. Like, so what if I was stranded on the side of the road? Would you help me? Well, what if I had a flat tire in the middle of the night? Would you get out your bed and come to see about me if I called you? Well, what if those are just ridiculous questions? Seriously, I cannot. Woo. You talking about a question that I can't stand? Those what if questions, and they're very extreme. These be some of the most ridiculous, extreme questions, and it's like, yo, do you plan on getting a flat tire or something? I mean, what is this? How is that trying to get to know me? That's not it. You're not asking me about my interests. You just ask me if you need somebody, can you count on this person too? Because you got a roster. Listen, man, I don't care what nobody say. A woman have a roster of people that she can call to help her. Even when the woman say, I ain't got nobody, you got somebody. You got somebody, baby. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. You got somebody. Oh, you got a friend you can call from back in the day, and he or she, especially he will be like, dang, I ain't talked to you in a while. What's up, though? What you need, though? He will still help you. Try it. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Don't even want nothing for real. Just test it. Test my theory. Test it out and let me know. Email me. Email us. The mailroom 313@yahoo.com. Facts. I wish my boy JB the Gent was here. Facts. All of y'all, whether you in a friendship, marriage, shacking up, or living together, common marriage, if you're homosexual, if you're not heterosexual, if you a woman, you got somebody that will help you, especially a man. He's somewhere in that friend zone area you got, and he's somewhere in that I really like him. Like I like these guys. like these two guys right here. Like I like talking to them, but these guys over here is like, these are my, hey buddy, how you doing? That's the hey buddy crew. You got the hey buddy crew, right? Hashtag test Tay theories. Hey, that's sweet. That's what's up. Test taste theory. Yo, the buddy crew over here, they don't want nothing from you and all that kind of stuff. You got those dudes, you can hit them up and be like, hey, I need you for blah, blah, blah. They will do it. Even if you don't talk to them like that, they will do it. And then you got the 1-2 guys that you like really like talking to. They will do it too. The whole roster will do it. Anytime I have talked to a woman and a woman tells me she feels like she don't have nobody to talk to, she's lying to me. See, I'm not one of those dudes that just believe anything. You girl, you lying to me. You feel like you ain't got nobody to talk to. Stop it. Stop it. See, this is where the season of trying to figure it out come into play. You got to ask questions. You got to investigate questions, investigate people's intentions. Not these, well, what if I was on fire? Would you douse my fire? Like, what? What are you saying to me? What if I needed some money? What if? You're going to what if this man to death? You're going to what if him right out the door? He a good dude. You're going to what if him right out the door? Because he ain't got time for that, man. Those are not inquisitive and intelligent questions. Those are emotional questions. Those are questions to try to help you to feel better about yourself and all that kind of stuff. Those questions are internal. Those are not expedient questions to get to know a man. It's not. I don't do that. What if I needed a cash app? Would you cash app me? Like, ain't nobody asking you that. We know you're not gonna cash app us. We know y'all money ain't ours. I don't care, man. You can cut the cap with me. Okay. Men know that. That's why men don't care about y'all money. Men do not care about women's finances. That's why when a woman talks about what makes her a good woman for a man, and she say, I got my own crib, I got my own car, I got my own money, I got my own career. Okay, that's what you're supposed to have. This is America. You mean you're an adult? You're adulting? Great. So am I. We're both adults here. What makes you a good woman, though? That is not telling me that makes you a good woman. That lets me know that you're an adult. Great. That has nothing to do with your character. That has nothing to do with what helps a man. Because men know going into a relationship or a marriage or anything, we know that we have to take care and lead the household, not only in our character, but also in our currency. It's character and currency for men. That's what we need to have. Men should be men of character and currency. And even if he don't have a lot of currency, he should be responsible with the currency he has. I'm just saying, man. We be tripping on some craziness. So the season of trying to figure it out is very important. Investigate whoever it is that you like or whatever the case may be. Investigate. I know I can tell when a woman is investigating me properly. They will ask me some questions that will cause me to unpack, to explain things, to see how my mind works, to see how my character works, to see how my personality works, attributes. Not know, well, what if I was drowning? I know you can't swim. You can't swim. I know you can't swim. But if I was drowning, would you still try to save me? No. Not if I got to hear another what if question. No. All right. But that's the season of trying to figure it out. So let's unpack real quick to see. Hold on, let me put my glasses on because I see. I'm sorry, I had to take my glasses off. Oh, she said, don't forget to like. No, that's it. Don't forget to share the live, hit the like button, and subscribe to the MALEROOM Network. We appreciate you, baby. Appreciate it. Damn. No, I can't swim. You can't swim. We both gonna drown. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Those kind of questions, those are ridiculous questions. And because you ask a ridiculous question, you get a ridiculous answer. You get a ridiculous answer. Okay. When you ask ridiculous questions to a man, he's going to reciprocate a ridiculous answer. We need to be asking some adult questions. Questions of character and principles. You know, again, we're in the dating culture now. All right. We talked about the 4 types of daters, episode number 2. If you want to see it, go to the playlist on the MALEROOM Network, and you'll see season 2. You'll see season 2 Coffee Conversation playlist, episode number 2. You'll see where we talked about the 4 types of daters. It was a fire show. We talked about dating after divorce, another part of the dating culture, fire show. We talking about the 4 seasons of dating. I'm sorry, I'm on this dating culture thing, and I'm trying to unpack all the nuances of things that we don't talk about. We don't talk about these things because it requires thinking. And when you think, people who don't like a person who thinks, they always get irritated with them because you always asking questions. This is the reason why the season of trying to figure it out is very important. Man, you asked me too many questions. Oh, you don't like being questioned. Okay, cool. Next. If I can't ask you no questions and get to know you, then, what's up? You feel me? So, again, let's recap. Season of heartbreak. When you're overwhelmed with distress because of a previous relationship you got out of, and you're trying to date. And when you dated somebody with heartbreak, they refer everything to their ex. Everything to their ex. Everything. They just talk about their ex randomly. Even if you didn't ask them nothing about their ex. I didn't ask anything about your ex, but you're going to talk about your ex. It's ridiculous. That's season of heartbreak. His heart's still broken. That man heartbroken still. It's cracked. Okay. He trying to get it together. And sometimes for men, talking about it a little bit more kind of helps us. Other times it's like, we don't want to talk about it. I'm quick because I know me for sure. Sometimes when I go through certain things that I know can't nobody help me with, I don't want to talk about it. But if I just want to get my thoughts out, I will talk. But let me do it at my pace because I don't like being rushed. I'm still trying to gather my own thoughts because this right here was a blow to the face. So I don't even know what just happened. Let me try to figure it out. So that's season number 1, heartbreak. Season of void. When you're feeling empty, that's another season of people who feel empty. They try to fill that void and they just get attached to people quickly and things of that nature. That's a season of void that person is in. They're trying. We can't really knock them like that, but they're trying though. They are. They really are. But it's just that emptiness. They're used to being in a relationship with someone, probably, especially if it was a long one, like a year and a half, 2 years. They're used to that person. They're kind of used to the way that person talked to them and interacted with them and all that kind of stuff, Season of trying to figure it out is when you trying to really go out there, investigate, see what's going on, see what's popping. But then there's another season. Ooh, let's go. There's another season called clarity. Season of clarity. Season of clarity. This is where you see things for what they are. You see people for who they are. You accept all of it without bitterness. Again, you accept all of it without bitterness, disappointment, or entitlement. You become at peace with the journey. Also with clarity, you see things in a pure form, right? So it's like you see the purity of it. It's not, I didn't say innocence. I said purity. You see it for what it is, what it's actually meant to be. You see the clarity of it. This season of clarity is so good because what it does is it causes you to be satisfied with yourself. That's where happiness starts to develop because you got clarity now. You was heartbroken at first. You had void. You was trying to figure it out. And then after you figure it out, you like, okay, I got clarity. Now I can operate and move in a certain way that's going to be not detrimental to me, but it's going to be great for me. It's going to be awesome for me. It's going to be intentional for me to move in this direction because now I am able to see things properly. Not just the other person. See, this is the season of clarity is not about the other person. It's about you. What season are you in with dating? Are you in the season where you're trying to fill a void? Are you in a season where you're trying to figure it out? Are you in a season where you're trying to where you still got some heartbreak, but you're just trying to get over it, but you just want somebody to talk to? Or are you in a season of clarity where you can see things, like you can see clearly now? It's like, man, see, like right now I don't have my glasses. I don't have contacts yet. I'm about to get some though for sure. But I don't have my glasses right now. So everything looks a little fuzzy. But once I put these boys on, then I can sing that song. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. You know what I'm saying? I can see everything. Now I don't have to be so close to it. I can back up and see it. I can see it from afar now. Sometimes people can only see when they're close to someone. The closer and closer they get to it, the more they can see. Some people can see afar off. Some people can see things afar off and be like, I'm going to prevent myself from going that way. I'm going to prevent myself from making that decision. Because at the end of the day, I can't repeat what I did before. That is the season that you're in, the clarity. Like I can see clearly, man. And when you can see clearly, you can smile more. You know, you don't have to have no attitude with people. That's the one thing that is not good about the dating culture is the attitude of it. It's extreme. It's either super casual, which is the main thing. It's like number one. And you know what 1A is in the dating culture? It's this entitlement. You got casual, lackluster intentions, and then you have a group of people that just feel entitled. They feel entitled. They want the first date to be Ocean Prime without a conversation over the phone. They want to go to Fogo de Chao without a conversation over the phone. That's got to be the first date. Because I didn't get that. I didn't get that in my last relationship. So I'm supposed to get Fogo de Chao. And then you got some guys out here that's like, man, now that I got my money up, I ain't really, I could have did better financially. So I want to impress. I want to impress this woman. So let me take her out to J. Alexander or whatever, Ocean Prime again or whatever, or the W hotel somewhere, and they got some fire restaurants there. And they're in that hotel room. Like they want to go to all these extravagant places to impress someone because they lacked impressing or impression on the last person they was with. But when you have clarity and you were able to navigate properly in the dating culture, you could ask somebody like, hey, let's go out to let's meet up for coffee. Or let's meet up for, lunch or something. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Okay, I'll meet up for lunch. Where you want to meet at? Let's go to Patillo's, man. Patillo's? What's that? Like, don't worry, it's a nice little spot. I'll tell you where it's at. You just meet me there. Okay, cool. Okay. You know how y'all some of y'all women be giddy, boy. Y'all be like, ooh. But yeah, man. That's how I be. So the thing about it is when you have clarity, you don't have to impress or overcompensate for anybody. You're in a season where you got clarity. You know who you are. You clear about it. You comprehensive about it. You moving forward like it. You're not trying to trip and impress everybody. You ain't trying to do none of that. All you trying to do is live and let live, dog. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what season are you in with dating? Are you still heartbroken? Are you still heartbroken? Do you have any void, any emptiness? Do you feel empty? You can still be with someone and feel empty sometimes. That's a whole nother thing to unpack. Are you in the season of trying to figure it out? Like things ain't making sense. I'm trying to ask questions and I don't know what questions to ask, Or are you in the season of clarity where you know exactly what you want to do and you're just trying to make it happen, trying to get it popping, or, but you got to practice a little patience with that clarity now. You know what I'm saying? Because you might think, okay, I'm clear now, so I should get it. Like, nah, not yet. You got to have some patience. Right? So that is something that I wanted to share today. Find out what is your season of dating. We are in the dating culture, unfortunately, and it is what it is. And so because of the dating culture, we have to navigate and adapt. It's a lot of adaptation that happens in the dating culture. That's why I call it the 4 seasons of dating. And I talked about adaptation when I talked about Detroit, because you have to adapt to the weather. You're trying to have fun in the summer, in the wintertime. you got a summer attitude in the winter. Like, no. You're not gonna get that pneumonia. You're gonna get that old pneumonia if you keep going out there with shorts on and no socks. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to get sick, ain't you? You see what I'm saying? You gotta adapt, man. And just because you adapt doesn't mean you are diminishing your value. It doesn't mean that you're diminishing what you can offer someone. It just means that you know how to navigate. You know how to drive through these crooks and crannies of the dating culture. And sometimes you're going to feel like you're in your season all by yourself. But just know that there's always somebody in a similar season as you. You feel me? So it's your boy Tay Biz signing off. Yo, until next time, keep your coffee and your conversation growing. I'll holler at you next week. Peace.